You were live blogging while you were on TV.
Yes.
What's your take?
My take is that the iPhone number looks great. My take is that the Mac number looks amazing. My take is that Surface is a little soft, and the China number missed the estimate we have here on the Bloomberg terminal. But at the same time, that is, pretty nice growth on an annual basis, where they were sort of, I guess, in the toilet in China a couple of years ago and last year, but they've totally rebounded there. It's going to be interesting to see how the foldable iPhone performs there as a status symbol, well north of $2,000. So I think it's going to be a hot product there, especially because foldables are taking over the smartphone market in China.
Yeah, I know you're going to buy a foldable phone as soon as you can get one.
Of course I am. I'll be first in line.
So is it the light services in China that's moving the stock lower? I mean,
Yes.
I know stock was up to more than 22% going into this print.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, they smashed Mac, right? But I don't think investors have fully grasped the importance of the Mac at this point. I mean, it sort of feels like an afterthought compared to the iPhone and the iPad. The iPad is always light. Wearables have been light for a couple of years now because they haven't really done a ton there. But that is going to accelerate big time over the next 3 years with these AI devices. Glasses are going to shoot those numbers up.
You think people will buy those?
I do. I think you'll buy them too.
Well, tell me about them.
Well, Apple is not going necessarily after the smartphone market. They're looking to create glasses that people want to wear, just like the Apple Watch replaced the traditional watch market. They think that their smart glasses are going to replace sort of the low end to mid-tier glasses market, not the Maison Bonnets of the world, but the Essilor Luxotticas of the world. So they're really going to go after those brands there. It'll have cameras built in. It'll do all the stuff that Meta does, but a little bit more premium and Apple-y because it'll integrate with your iPhone, whereas they've really held back iPhone integration with the Meta glasses over the past couple of years.
Do they actually create something that is, competitive in terms of share at the company that moves the needle in terms of the iPhone? Does something else finally come over in terms of contributing more to the bottom line and the top line?
I think Turnus will be CEO for the next 15 years unless, again, something goes wrong that we're not expecting. And someone asked me earlier today on one of the programs, what's going to be the most important product in Turnus's tenure? And I, to their surprise, said the iPhone. I think it's going to be the case that we're always going to carry something in our pocket. The iPhone or something like it is always going to be at the center of everything. And then we're going to be augmented by glasses, watches, earbuds, you name it. But at some point, there will be a transition to be had. I just don't see it anytime in the near future.
Has Apple given up on the Vision Pro?
Has Apple given up on the Vision Pro? It's on the back burners of all back burners at this point. There's a revamped version that's lighter in development. I don't anticipate it before the end of 28 or early 29. Could go further back from that because they have been heavily prioritizing this glasses push. Smart glasses with no display, smart glasses with AR display. They've got a long roadmap of multiple generations ahead of both of those categories, and you'll see them introduce the glasses strategy as early as June of next year.
What do you want to hear on the call?
I want to hear about the memory shortage. I know it's not sexy, but investors are interested in that. I want to hear about Tim Cook's thoughts on how the transition is going. Most importantly, I want to hear Turnus's vision for Apple. Are we going to hear that on this call? Are we going to hear that on the next call? Probably not. These guys don't really say anything.
I'm laughing because, you shared with us earlier about John Turnus and Tim Cook being dressed identically. His vision is going to be whatever Tim Cook says the vision is.
Is it going to be? Is it?
Is that what it's going to be?
Yeah.
No, I think that, he's going to come in and make major changes to the company. Just like, Steve Jobs, arguably one of the greatest CEOs and visionaries of all time. Tim Cook came in there. It's not like he took a wrecking ball, but he shook things up pretty quickly. He was the one who instated the buyback program. He was the one who instated environmental initiatives. He was the one who instated tons of new product lines. And you can bet Turnus is going to do the same thing. And so we'll see how long that takes, but he's not going to come on and say he's going to do things differently than his predecessor. He's going to go on and say how incredible Tim Cook has done. And even if I do half of what you do, it'll be a success.
Yeah.
So
$5 trillion market cap, pretty close to it. Expectations were high going into this print. What's the question that, if you were able to ask a question on the call today, what would it be?
If I were able to answer or ask a question, I would straight up ask Turnus, what is your vision for the future of this company? How are you going to get to this next stage of growth? And how are you going to create an AI devices strategy? Well, I mean, the good news is I don't get a question, because the bad news is he wouldn't answer that.
And just I was keeping track. That was 3 questions.
Well, I'm a journalist.
That's what these analysts do too.
But if he's not going to answer a question about vision, and you kind of know that, what else would you want to know?
I would want to drill down into his operational expertise and get his viewpoint as someone who's not from the operations department about the memory shortage, how long he sees that running for, and what work is going on internally to solve that other than just hiking prices.
What do analysts say about that? Do they all say 2030?
I don't mean to be rude, but they're just making it up. It's just guesses, because nobody knows for sure, and anyone who tells you they know for sure is just making it up.
Could Apple go to China and do?
I believe they are. They're working with YMTC, CXMT,
and is that moving the needle for them?
It'll move the needle for them in one of their biggest markets, which is China. Some of the senators and other lawmakers in the U.S. seem to think that it's going to start in China, and then they'll start putting Chinese memory in iPhones sold globally, and that's all very scary for a lot of people. But then I think about it and I realize, am I really that scared of Chinese memory in my phone when my phone is built in China? What is really the big difference there?
Great point. Hey, on component inflation, I just want to mention Ian King on the live blog saying, looking at Apple's costs, important in a time of component inflation. The cost of product sales went up 8%, revenue went up 18%. That shows some strength in supply chain management, the hallmark of Cook's tenure as it comes to a close, which feeds to, you want to know what the new guy's going to do, right?
Exactly.
In terms of operational and the supply chain.
All right, Mark Gurman's got to go.
Double dose of Mark Gurman.
Fly back to LA or something.
Got to get on the live blog.
Okay. Get on the live blog.
That's what you got to do. Call in 4 minutes.
All right, get out of here. Get out of here.
Get out of here.